Running.
Woo. Hey, it's that time again at Honky Talk Podcast, baby, at the Sundown Tavern, where we're saving Rustin one sandwich at a time. We got Brother Bo Smith, Trey Gocho, and some special featured guest, friend, artist, all the above, Mr. Dave P. Moore. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Woo. Thank y'all so much for having me. I love y'all very much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been getting good crowds here lately, you know.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Well, let's jump right into it. Dave P., just tell us about your journey with harmonica playing, and he can play the guitar too, and he writes songs, and he's been in bands his whole life, just doing stuff. Tell us about your journey.
I don't know where to start, but I was in the hospital a lot when I was a kid. My mother gave me my first harmonica, and so I started tootling around with it, and then towards the latter high school years, I started getting into blues music. And so I kind of, associated the harp with that, of course. And then years went by and slowly doing this and that. And ended up working at a blues club. And played with called 1048 in Montgomery, Alabama.
Alabama, okay.
And there was a lot of blues art acts that came through there, that you still hear on the radio today. Tinsley Ellis, the Holmes brothers, Bob Margolin, several different quality blues acts over the years. And so I honed my harmonica craft doing that kind of thing. And we started a band called Blues Old Stand with my friends from Montgomery, Alabama. And we've been together now 35 years. So,
man.
But yeah, it's back when I was working at 1048, and I started working the door, then I started waiting some tables, bar backing, bartending, and then I ended up managing the place. But we had this guy come through named Kent Duchesne, and he was from a band called Aces, Straights, and Shuffles up in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
That's a cool name.
With Kim Wilson and those guys from the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Well, when they moved to Austin to form the Fabulous Thunderbirds, Kent picked up the slide guitar, 1927 National Steel, and honed his skills on the bottleneck slide, and moved down south to find Johnny Shines, the last man to travel with Robert Johnson. And that's just what he did. When we met him, he hadn't located him yet. He was living in Tuscaloosa, but was weary to have some Yankee come up to him, and Kent was from up north,
right?
But he finally started getting him out. Ended up getting him back on tour over in Europe, this kind of thing. Well, from that, I got to meet him and play with him several times. That being probably the highlight of my whole career. I mean, everything's been a highlight, but that's just I've kept that. That's just been a root of mine. Just it just wore off.
Yeah,
I think.
And you're talking about with Mr. Shines?
Yes, with Kent. Kent would turn me on to all kinds of players. Bucka White, Skip James. People that I hadn't heard of back in that day. When I was 19, 20 years old. I'm now about to be 58, and but yeah, he was my mentor in the blues. Kent was, and then introducing me to Johnny Shines. It was just the whole real. True package.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did he with the harmonica playing? You was like you said, okay, you was coming through high school, you were working at the bar. What was some stories about him like with Shines? I mean, what was what'd you learn from
Shines didn't talk about Johnson much, and Kent said, "Don't ask him about Robert. If he wants to talk about it, he will." Yeah. And he did a few times. He'd be like, me and Robert, we'd ride the same train. But we would never play together. I'd get off over here, and he'd be a block down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they never played together. Wow. They may have.
Sure, you're right.
General rule, they made their own money.
Right.
Right.
And Johnny's style is a lot like Robert's. As evil sounding and as eerie, as he is. So I would recommend anybody. And with today's YouTubes and Googles and all that, you can find plenty of material on Johnny Shines, and he was a fabulous recording artist himself. Just didn't get the limelight that BB, Muddy.
Yeah,
Robert
right.
Johnson did, you know.
Right. Wow.
Well, what would you say that he kind of taught you, or what do you think you got from him?
Well, a lot of not knowing when not to play and knowing when to play, and don't think about it so much. You got to think about it, but you also can't think about it.
Don't
So
overthink.
it's a fine line. But,
Yeah.
But I guess something to that. It's a kind of an undefinable thing that you get from when you play with those people like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll say
you-
that like I've known you over the last several years. That's one of the major things that I've learned from you. And we talk about it all the time about just the dynamics of songs and everything. And like, there's pockets. And you can be busy in the pocket. You can lay back in the pocket, but there's a pocket, and that's one of the things that I've learned from you. And it was and I've been able to teach some of my other peers that are in the musician world. It just puts that edge on a professional level. If y'all would agree.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I've definitely learned that. That's what we've talked about this a couple of times in regards to you about that. We're always talking about Dave Peebles. Hey, he'll look at you and go, "Hey,
Don't make me give you the eye.
Yeah. He's a straight shooter.
Don't be out of tune either.
Okay." So, what about as far as your career though, with Old Blue Stand?
Yeah, so we, that was, we were getting the Blues Old Stand off the ground during that part.
And how'd you get the name?
Well, there's a little town in Bullock County, Alabama, called Blues Old Stand, named after this guy, Hector Blue, that like at the turn of the century the last century. Had a wagon general store thing, and he'd come through town annually, then a little more regular. Then he finally made a permanent stand there, and I guess he died, and then somebody else had it, but it was called Blues Old Stand.
That's a cool story. Yeah.
But Bebo, who lives here in Ruston, my very best friend in the world, Bebo Dakin, he and I said we were into the blues at the time, and Bebo was our original drummer in Blues Old Stand, and we saw it on the map, and we were like, well, let's go here. So we went there, stole the sign, and said, if we ever have a band, we're going to call it Blues Old Stand.
So there you go.
So a couple years later,
That's a great story. It has nothing to do. I mean, it has things to do with the blues, but it's a town. It was a stand.
We'll meet people from that area, and so they don't have any more green signs, and they blame it on the band. Still,
Right.
you're the ones who took all our stuff.
No. Hey, I don't know nothing.
Well, when y'all became the band, you got the name and everything. Where did y'all find yourself playing? And what years do you think that was? What were y'all doing?
Well, I'll tell you this. I was managing 1048 Club, playing with these blues acts that came in. Bebo was a whitewater raft guide out in Idaho. So each summer for a couple summers in a row, 2 or 3, I flew out to Idaho. We'd do a couple rivers, and then I'd ride back across country with them. That was the first time I'd been out west, and really had a great time doing it. Well, about the second or third year we did that, we came back, and our buddy Scott Crompton had said, I got us a practice room. And so next step was find Bebo a set of drums, and then we just started jamming.
Yeah.
And then didn't really plan on having a band per se,
Right.
and a couple other people were like, I'm looking for somebody to jam with. We're like, well, come on with us. We're learning too.
Yeah.
And that's basically how it started. And I was working at the club, so when we got halfway decent, we still sucked, but we got halfway decent. We had a place to play on. Well, you can play on Tuesday night for free. Okay, great.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
And that turned into Wednesday and Thursday, and then
You got pretty good.
Yeah, then we started playing, frat gigs up in Tuscaloosa and Auburn and Ole Miss and University of Georgia.
Wow.
And got us a booking agent, and we started, hitting it. And I quit the club and did music full time, and that's what I.
So you made that run for man, how long?
It's been a long time.
Long
now.
time. Yeah. That's so crazy, but it's cool though. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a lot of things, a lot of cool things on the road too. I didn't know you toured like that. That's a cool thing that I'm learning.
We were from DC to Colorado and played up in New York, and but mostly Southeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'd travel out to Texas and everything like that. But,
What were y'all playing? What style of music? What were y'all? A little bit everything, or
well, our roots were blues, Allman
Sure.
Brothers, and of course I had not of course, but I had or still do, an older sister, and she had a fabulous record collection. Back in the day, the Led Zeppelins, the Skinners, all that. So I got that rock and roll stuff.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which was a lot of blues.
It is.
Anyway, my dad was huge country, a guy he used to go to bluegrass festivals and all this kind of thing. And so the Merle, the Waylon, Hank, all that was instilled in me at an early age.
Yeah.
Not really realizing.
Yeah.
My mom was in the big band and also danced and was in some musicals over the years.
Yeah.
So, I acquired that. I can remember listening to Glenn Miller and going, Mom, change the station. She's like, when you get your license, you can listen to what you want to.
That's right.
But, so today I'm riding down the road and I like to listen to Glenn Miller.
It's a lot of inspiration.
Right.
Well, you're right. I mean, you have a lot of influences, but you can tell in your playing that it's just such a combination of things. But I just remember like going back and forth to Nashville with you a bunch of times, or just a few times, I guess. And during your iPod, dude, it's loaded with like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be listening to African Mambe one time, and then a symphony, and then some Skinner will come on, and it's just such a blend and variety. But you like to listen to a lot of things.
I do. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah, right.
If it makes,
That's right.
if it strikes some emotion in you, then so be it.
Yeah, so be it,
regardless of what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
Will you find any Taylor Swift on there?
But I think that iPod was established before Taylor.
Probably
ever
before.
came
Yeah.
along.
It's yeah, for sure.
There's nothing.
ran out of room?
There's nothing.
There's nothing modern.
Right. There's not too much modern stuff on there.
Yeah, but it's cool though.
Well, let's take a break real quick. Honky Talk Podcast here at the Sundown Tavern. Ooh, that's that brother P-Mo.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Welcome back, Honky Talk podcasters, listeners. We're back here at the Sundown with a special guest, Dave P. Moore.
Oh, y'all are so kind.
Thank you for being here again, man.
Thank you
We're back from the
for having
break. But before we get into it, I want to talk about the daily lunch plate special.
Talk about it.
I will talk about it. I'm going to talk about it because I'm about it. So come down to Sundown Tavern to get your daily plate lunch special. That's hard to say. Because I'm telling you, they got a fried bologna sandwich today and tomorrow. Actually, for the whole week.
It's delicious.
It's delicious. They got wings and things. They got the Reuben officially back on the menu. Reuben. But this fried bologna sandwich is delicious, succulent. You can get it with a side salad, chips.
Your tongue will beat your brains out. I'm telling you, trying to get to it.
It's very good. It's very good. So come on down to Sundown, get your lunch plate special.
Ooh, one sandwich at a time.
Get you a Bloody Mary, too.
Bloody Mary.
That's right. All right.
So here's what I want the listeners to know at the for the Honky Talk Podcast
Yep.
is that Dave P's been around a long time, not because how old he is, but how much music this guy has played throughout his years in playing. Tell us about, we went through the old blues stand thing and kind of how you got your name and started, and then kind of how you progressed.
All right. Well, I tell you, we were playing around and stuff, and one of our guitar players was graduating law school, and he had moved down from Gadsden, Alabama to Montgomery. So we were looking for a new guitar player, and we let people know we were. And we were playing in Tuscaloosa one night, and this skinny dude named John Mark Turner came up and said, "Hey man, I heard you're looking for a new guitar player. I'm from Montgomery. I dig your thing. Think I could, add to." So we're like, yeah, whatever. And he had sat in with us a couple times, and it was good, And so it kind of got down to the nitty of the gritty. My memory's a little hazy,
Sure.
But it pretty much happened like this. So we had this rehearsal room in Montgomery downtown. It was so cool. We could go out into the courtyard and climb up the fire escape, get on top of the buildings downtown Montgomery. And yeah, it's a trip. But anyway, so we called John Mark and said, "Can you come down and try out for us?" And it was like on a Sunday night. So he drove down from Tuscaloosa and rehearsed with us that night. Drove back and go to class, or not, whatever
Whatever he did. Yeah.
And then so we called him on Monday to come back, and we called him on Tuesday to come back, and then that's when we said, you're hired.
You're in the band.
If you want the job.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's when he was 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, young.
And so I was probably 25.
Yeah, right.
I'm like 5 years older than he is. But anyway, so we got him, and we started writing a lot more together. He and I. He'd come up with licks. I'd come up with lyrics. I had some songs in the bucket, but nonetheless, we started writing songs. We made our first album with Blues Old Stand. Did it ourselves. 16-track analog.
Wow.
No overdubs. No effects.
Right.
And all that. And incidentally, 30 years later, that was 1993, I think, 2, 3, 4. But now we're coming out we're re-releasing that on vinyl. Should be out in another month or so.
How cool is that?
Nice.
Congratulations.
And that album it's a double record. And so that album took up 3 sides. So the fourth side, we went in the studio, recorded a couple new songs that we just wrote in the past 6 months.
Cool.
This is recent 6 months. Wow.
Yeah. Cool, man.
And then we're going to put some live tracks on it. So that'll be released.
Wow.
Right. Well, before that, we had many years of, when John Mark first joined, we started, kind of had our foot in the door, but got the booking agent, started traveling around East Coast and stuff like that. We're playing with all kinds of cats: Dave Matthews, Gib Droll, Edwin McCain.
Wow.
We got to be friends with them. And we'd also see them at all the fraternity houses that we play, from Washington and Lee to, Charleston, to University of Georgia, Tuscaloosa, wherever. And so we, just kept playing and playing with all kinds of cats. And, things happen and this kind of thing. I could go on for, there's more stuff that I forget than I remember. But, long story short, it's just been a pleasure to be able to do it for so long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, of course, during that time of imbibing and all kinds of extracurricular things.
That's right.
But so that kind of took its toll. And I've been off the alcohol for 12 years now, or 11 years now.
11, yeah.
And
That's amazing.
so, yeah, that's a whole journey in itself.
Right.
And getting back to playing after that has been just an unbelievable joy, because it's just so much clearer. And us playing, John Mark and I playing together and writing together, it's so much clearer. And so in the last year, we've been getting the Blues Old Stand back on the road. And,
Yeah.
Well, I've been seeing y'all a lot too, on like the social medias and stuff. Y'all working that well, because I'm seeing it, and some of the places are playing. They're not just playing. They're getting around again. Like really putting pedal to the metal and getting after it. And that's why I think that's really cool. Now when you said John Mark, is he the one down in Santa Rosa?
Right. Now he moved down there, and we were still playing music, and the band was playing sometimes, but we weren't full on touring anymore. We get together like once or twice a year for a party or whatever, a reunion or whatever. Now we did some acoustic stuff in between and stuff like that, and I'd go down there and play with him and his musician friends down there. But him and his wife moved to Costa Rica, so they were gone for a while. So I was over here with y'all and playing, and well, I guess it was about this time last year. He's like, "Look, man, if I book some gigs, you want to do them?" I said, "Book, I'm going to do them." And so he was itching to gig again. Costa Rica's great, but
Right.
sitting on the beach,
Right.
then you're having carrot juices.
Yeah.
Fine, but when you're a gigging musician, you get that itch. So.
You got to play.
Yeah, so that's the whole kind of reason we're back doing it.
Cool.
And just kind of you never know when it's going to be the last time you play.
That's true.
Yes,
So
sir.
That's
just
very true.
enjoy it.
Yeah, very true.
What about your on your solo projects? Now, this is a whole can of worms here.
That's right. Well, when I moved from Montgomery 12 years ago, no. Well, it doesn't matter. But I moved to Shreveport from Montgomery because our friend Scott Crompton, who was the guy, if you remember, who got the studio, got the rehearsal spot for us to start the band with. He was working at Blade Studios when it first opened up. Brady Blade, he's a well-known drummer throughout the industry, and so I moved over to Shreveport with them. Well, that was great until they got established and everything. And my family's originally from Franklin Parish, Louisiana. So I moved down there from Shreveport and hanging on the farm.
Yeah.
And would come up to Ruston and see Bebo, who I mentioned earlier. And so one night at the Semino Jam, which I didn't know anything about, it was called the Semino Jam. I assumed it was a jam. So I came in and
Ready to jam.
yeah, it was packed, and I was like, well, how do you sign up for the jam? And it was like, well, you kind of have to have an act, to play.
Right.
So me and Bebo were here. I had a drummer,
Yeah.
and we had gotten a hotel room, so we didn't have to drive that night. And here in Ruston, and we saw some guy on the elevator with a guitar on his shoulder. He was from Shreveport. He thought it was a jam too. So I saw him here in the crowd. And I said, hey man, you know how to play some blues? He was like, yeah. So we needed a bass player. So I went in the kitchen there. I said, anybody play bass? And Kobe was on the fryer.
Yeah.
And he turned around and said, I can.
Oh my goodness.
So we went over a couple things real quick and got it right up here and jammed it out. And after that, like Monty came up and was like, who are you? And that's how I started meeting people.
So that's how you met Monty, huh?
Yeah. Or met Bruce Gay. And
What's so crazy? Like how many musicians we know had like Sundown.
Yeah.
And Sundown's one of the title sponsor.
Yeah.
It is wild. I was just
It's just wild to think about. Yeah.
No, it is crazy.
This place is how I got to know y'all.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't know y'all if it wasn't for this place.
That's very true. And it's been a pleasure to
I'm gonna have to get
perform. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's right. You hit it, dude. But it's been a pleasure working with you, playing with you.
Likewise.
Just performing with you, man. It's been super cool because if you ever seen Dave P on the harp, or just perform in general, it's very cool. I remember that one time we played at the Dixie together, and people loved it, man. The Dixie Theater right here in Ruston, Louisiana. Got to play just an opening slot, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
What's really cool is that, he's your influences. People are influenced by who they're influenced by. Okay, I guess my point is that you have a style of your own, though. Like even your stage presence. I get a kick out of watching his set. When I say the set, I mean like the stage. He's always got his table. He's always got some Christmas lights.
Yep.
He's got little lights. He's his own separate. Like he could be in the band or play with you,
area.
but he's got his area.
That's right.
Too. So he's his own act within the act as well. Which to me, especially if you're a harmonica player or a kind of an instrument like that, you have to kind of stand out.
Well,
And not that
I
you
don't know
try
if that's
to.
good or
No,
or
it's
bad.
a good. It's a good thing. It's entertaining. I love it because I know what you just playing. You look over there and Dave's got all these things hooked up, and he's the most prepared guy I've ever seen. He's got all his equipment. It all works.
Yeah, that's a good
They
thing.
plug stuff in. He's got all this stuff. I'm going, my God, I don't even have that many plugins. I got the whole sound system, But it's a really cool thing. It's a cool vibe. I guess people call it a vibe or whatever, but it is a vibe. But you stand out. You're your own person too, though. I think that's really cool. Is what has always drawn me, and plus the style that he plays, and just the knowledge that the stuff he can do with harmonicas is unreal.
Oh,
So I'm,
sweet. You're sweet.
If you want to go hear some,
if you,
he's got some music out
that's right.
for you to listen to.
Back to the solo project. Yeah,
That's right.
you don't mind me jumping in there.
No, that's right. I'm like about to say.
Bold toe.
No,
I'm
it's-
gonna ask you about the solo project, so pick it up from me.
No, it's where that was a segue, perfect segue.
Exactly.
Now
That's right.
tell us about your days down.
So when I got to meet Monty and got to meet y'all, and if you remember, you did your album before I did mine.
That's
I
right.
Went to Nashville with you and had a good time. Gave you hell the whole time.
I know,
pretty
yeah.
much.
I've heard some stories.
I know you remember.
Yeah, the shorts only talk about me and Monty making fun of me on his interview. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. It was hilarious. I know.
But so, you know, Monty had said, since I'd known, we need to make a solo record of yours. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So finally, you know, got around to writing the songs for it. And Monty wrote one or two and helped me with arrange a few of mine and basically produced. We went up to the Ridge in Tennessee with our buddies up there,
Yeah.
which was Monty's buddies, now our buddies.
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
Right.
it's just, you know, it's just been a magical experience. But put out a record called Fort Necessity, and that's where the little town where I live, where my dad is from in Franklin Parish. My mother's from Winsboro.
Winsboro.
That's right. And so that was great. That, you know, if it wasn't for Monty, I would probably wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, some of the songs that are on Fort Necessity.
I would have just been still talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
right.
made it come. Yeah, kind of pushed you to come to
Yeah.
all this to come to the head. Yeah. Oh, and some of the songs though, what would you say? And people ask me this. Well, what's your favorite song you've ever written or recorded or whatever? Well, with yours on Fort Necessity, I'm gonna ask you this. And it's always such a hard question. Like, depends on kind of what mood I'm in. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what song when you listen to it, you're like, we did it on that one. Do you have one that's on Fort Necessity that you know something that?
You know, I tell you, you know, you're going to be critical about everything.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to, and it's sometimes it isn't until you gel with it live that it finds its sound away from the album.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, and some of them lend the hand to staying right in the structure. Now you got to know the structure and know what's going on, but you know, give it some breathing room, maybe a little tempo change here and there, whatever you're feeling that night, playing it live. You know,
right.
that's where
Which is different than a yeah. Go ahead.
absolutely a whole
Yeah.
different ball game. But yeah, I mean, the players on there were great. But if I had to say one song, You Got to Move, the last song on it, we had the McCrary sisters on that.
Yeah, they're great.
And,
Yeah.
it's kind of a gospel number, and they with the tambourine, the whole 9 yards.
They killed it.
And the McCrary sisters, as you know,
They got
they're
it.
the best.
Yeah.
I got my Bob Dylan shirt on right now. But-
Yeah.
and they, you know,
Yeah.
they sang on with Bob Dylan.
That's right.
They sing with Bob. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
You got to be good to make him sound good.
That's right.
No, I'm kidding.
Hey, but
No, I like Bob Dylan, but I get it. No.
But no, yeah, they put it down so heavy and so good, and it was just, oh Lord, you know,
Yeah.
beautiful.
yeah, it was good. It's very good.
So tell us, okay, another song on there though, and I know exactly what song you're talking about. I like that song too. But give us a little background about that Hank's Basement.
Oh, Hank's Basement.
That's a song on Fort Necessity.
Well, I lived in Alabama, and I just visited Hank's boyhood home for the
He's talking about Hank Senior,
Yeah.
like Hank, not
Yeah.
Hank,
That's
Jr.,
right.
Hank Senior, the man.
boyhood home for the second or third time in my existence down in Georgiana, Alabama.
Yeah.
And the lady there was this little roped off area, and she said, well, the chimney was falling in there, so we had to rope that off, and she was telling me a story how Hank would go down underneath the house. It was a big,
Yeah.
you know, it was about 5 foot high conventional foundation, you know.
Is that like a pier and beam type house?
You're right.
Okay, okay.
And so he would go down there and sit next to the fireplace under the house and play his guitar. This when he was 8,
Oh, wow.
8, 9, 10, whatever it was. And so I went down. I walked around the house and found that door. Went down there and grabbed one of those bricks from the chimney that had been falling in. I got it in the back of my truck. Y'all can touch the brick.
Let me touch the bricks.
I got,
Yeah.
I got a Hank brick. Yes.
Wow.
Right.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so where were we at?
The basement. Talking
yeah,
about the
Hank's
song. The
Basement.
song.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I've always been a big Hanks fan. Well, I lived with my friends Ames and Ashley Ray up in Wetumpka, Alabama, for a while, and they were some of my sponsors, if you will, on the road.
Yeah.
And I'd stay there whenever I was in Montgomery, whatever, or near there. Well, Hank used to go up to this house, to Ames's grandfather's house that he lived in Wetumpka, and pick up Ames' grandfather, and they'd be gone 3-5 days, and they'd come back, whenever, and Ames's grandmother would just point to the basement. Said, "Y'all ain't, you ain't coming up here. Go to the basement."
Yep.
And it was an old house built in 1850, so they had this carriage basement, like a round driveway, and so you could imagine a carriage pulling up to the
Right.
the
Is it kind of a
basement
big
there,
house?
and then yeah.
For that time, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
Like a Victorian type house?
Not the biggest in the world, but it's old and
Yeah.
big,
Right. That's cool.
high ceilings and all.
Oh, wow.
And so that's Hank's basement.
Yeah.
The story was already there.
That's right.
And then the line in it goes, "Welcome in Wetumpka on your way to Kalijah." The line in the song, Kalijah is on Lake Martin, and it's a little town. And used to have the antique store, just like the song Kalijah that Hank wrote.
Yeah. Right.
Where he went there a lot, so he was right on that road.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a cool story.
Mm-hmm. So when when Monty saw my songs, I was like, "Well, that's just a song." He's like, "Well, what is this?"
Yeah.
Then that's nothing. He said, "No, what is this?
Yeah.
We've got to record that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's just a fun little ditty."
Yeah.
So we went to Hank's basement and got my friends there, 6 or 8 of them, to come down to the basement and sing the chorus on it, so you can hear that on the
Yeah.
record too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Because actually, when you walked up, that's like I was humming that song.
I was thinking about it earlier myself.
Yeah. I was like, man, we get Pimo. That's just one that sticks out on the record. Fort Necessities. Yo, definitely go check it out. Dave P. Moore. It's definitely worth the listen. It's in my CD player right now, actually.
Right.
Not because you were coming on the podcast. It stayed in there.
Oh,
Well, he's a smoke blower.
Yeah. So
that's sweet of you to say.
yeah.
Well, let's take another break. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Honky Talk Podcast, baby, with Dave P. Moore.
Woo. Action.
Dave P. Moore, baby.
Hey,
Live.
Live.
Pre-recorded at the Sundown Tavern.
But recorded live.
Yeah.
Sundown Tavern. Big thanks to Sundown Tavern and all the people, all the viewers, and the people that share and like and heart our post and comment. And it's always really cool to have the guests on the show. It makes the show really. I know, especially for me, Bo and Trey, we're always like, "We want to talk about ourselves again." I mean, what do we talk about?
Well, thank y'all for having me.
Man, we're glad that you were able to make it. And we reached out to Pimo about 2 months ago, but he was traveling around like he always does playing. And so we're back here. A lot of people that may not know you that well, they don't realize, how far you've actually gone with music and the things you've done and stuff like that. But tell them a little bit about the trip and how'd that work out with you going to London and Prague.
Well, the first time went over to across the big pond was when I was still working at that 1048 club back when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
The owner of the club was booking these blues acts, and he sponsored one of the acts over Big Al and the Heavyweights. Was it Big Al? But anyway, we went over to the Amsterdam Blues Fest, and not as a artist, but as a viewer, And,
Yeah.
And that was my first time over, but I did a lot of busking, played on the street the whole time, so that was kind of a new thing, and getting out there and doing that in a foreign country is
When
is
you say
bizarre.
when you say busking, though, was it just you and your harps? Did you have a guitar with you, or
No,
what?
playing guitar.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a harmonica holder or did that back then,
gotcha.
Right.
like I do now. So it was just guitar. And yeah, and make 50 gelders or something and get me through the day and, paid for, a lot of my trip.
Yeah.
But that was the first experience. But then we took a hiatus off the road after about 10 years, I guess. And John Mark, well, both of us had a friend from the Montgomery, Alabama area, Bobby Crow, who had friends in England, London, and in Leeds, up in North England. And so he had gone over there maybe a year, the year prior than we went, which was like 90. I don't know when it was, but
The year I was born.
right. But anyway, so we went over there and lived in London for a couple months, and went up to Leeds and stayed there a few times. But we played at several different places, and again, we had some friends there, but it wasn't like we had gigs and stuff like that. We were,
Right.
just kind of
Seeking them out,
right.
see what
we,
happens.
We had time on our hands. Let's go to London. We've got some friends there. Let's see what happens.
Right.
So I get off the train. John Mark's is there already. He's been there about a month, I think. And I meet him at Central Station, and he says, "Well, we got a rehearsal in 30 minutes, or
Right.
So we go and we get this gig at this place called Le Mirage on Greek Street in Soho in London. And, this is just blowing my mind, London. I mean,
Right.
it's crazy. Amsterdam was beautiful and crazy too, but living in London and be able to go in all parts of the city, which you could spend a lifetime and never be in all parts of that city.
Wow.
Wow, that's so
It's
crazy.
so big.
Yeah.
And, but, just met all kinds of different people there. And that was just an amazing experience in itself. And well, we were kind of getting restless, so we decided to move on. So we went to France and Germany and Belgium and Prague and Amsterdam again and this, that, and the other. And it's a whole nother story that,
Yeah.
still busking on the streets and, and thank God for family and friends for Western Union.
Yep.
We got robbed a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, just
How'd you get robbed? I mean, like gunpoint, knife point, or
No, the first night we were in Prague, we take a 24-hour bus ride from London to Prague. And we get there like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
in
where's Prague at?
Czech Republic.
Okay, so y'all left London.
Right. Went across the
Okay,
English
okay,
Channel.
okay, that's
to
what I was
Calais,
trying to say.
Right.
France, and to France. And then we came back through, all those countries too. But
Okay.
we get to Prague and nobody speaks. We're like, where do we go? And they're just like, stupid Americans. They got machine guns, and we're like,
Yeah.
we'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of smell our way down to the downtown and where the astrological clock is, and cobblestones, the bridge built in the 800s, and we're sitting there. There's just a few pigeons out on the square, and the people are starting to show up and put out chairs for the coffee shops and that kind of thing. Well, we see this guy on this black bicycle, and he's got the gut bass strapped to his back, riding down through
Yeah,
the
just-
middle of it. And we're like, there's only 10 people in this whole area. And so he stops and gets off his bike. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, here comes this black car over the cobblestones.
Yeah. Y'all was just watching
And
this.
we're open out. And these cats get out, and they got horns, and they start playing Dixieland like we're in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Come on, man.
And we're like, no
Yeah,
way.
what?
You're right.
Yeah.
That was our first few minutes in Prague. Well, we one of us would wait with the stuff while the other one were looking for a Western Union. Well, finally found one, so we had like a window that we could get money transferred. So we had money for the first time, in a while. We could eat.
Right.
And and we went out to a club, and had some food, listened to an act, a blues club, and had some beers, and came downstairs, and these chicas, these 3 women, come up and start, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, ladies, but they're putting their hands in your pockets.
Right. Oh no.
Trying to rob you.
Right. Well, I looked back at John Mark and I said, don't mess with them girls. And it was too late. They had done wrong. So I go chasing them down the street.
Yeah.
When they're running, I'm running, and I come around the corner and they jump into a cab. And I'm like, stop. These girls just robbed us. And dude just laughs and drives off.
And he's like, bro, I already
You're
knew.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, where the hell am I at?
Oh.
So I find my way back to John Mark. And,
Yeah.
Well, we're broke again. We got a little bit left, I guess. So,
Crazy.
Yeah, that was our first night in Prague.
Man, that's crazy. That's I want to write a song about that. Dangerous women in Prague.
That's
You can't. It's like that Deep Ellum. You go down to Deep Ellum and put your money in your sock.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They must have
right.
been good-looking women
They were.
Okay.
because they wouldn't be putting their hands in my pocket if they wouldn't.
Yeah, dangerous,
They
good-looking
did-
women.
They were quick too. Now,
Well, it depends
Yeah.
on how many beers you drink.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
but that's just one of those experiences that John Mark and I could write a damn book on, because things like that happen to us a lot. We played a festival in New York City with Blues Old Stand. We all flew up there, and we played this festival. And this girl comes up to us after we knew some guy from Montgomery, Brad Blomheim, who had done a film about Lee Scratch Perry, and it got world acclaim at this festival. So he had this big party. So after our show, we went to, and it was a film and music festival. So we went to his after party where he had Grandmaster Flash himself DJing.
Oh wow!
Walked in there, and the first person met was Grandmaster Flash. So we go up to the VIP, and this girl from Montgomery, who's friends of John Mark's or Freddie's or whoever, comes up and said, y'all are cordially invited to the Saturday Night Live after party.
Oh man.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, what?
So we'll have some cars ready for you out here when
Yeah,
when
wow.
you're done. So we get in these black, they weren't limos, but they were, black cars.
Right.
And 2 of them.
Y'all had drivers.
Yeah, and had drivers. And we went to the Saturday Night Live after.
Wow, how was that?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, we got pictures of us with Will Ferrell and
Wow.
and
Yeah,
Chris
that's so cool.
Kattan and Tracy Morgan. We
Yeah.
stayed there till the sun came up.
Man, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just,
Was there any
you know.
party favors there?
well, we can't talk about that on the podcast, can we?
Allegedly. If there were to be,
There were party favors there.
yeah.
I figured it would have been. Saturday Night Live.
All I gotta say is,
Was at least the wooden spoon and the ball on the rope that you could do that
it was
there?
there. It was there. Hats.
Yeah, there you go.
Yo, yes.
Well, look, I really appreciate you being on the show today, and coming out and taking the time. I know you've been busy lately, and but just taking the time and come share your story with these viewers and stuff. I learned a lot. I'm sure y'all did too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot from you over the years playing.
Well, a lot of it's a bunch of babble, but if you can pick something out that I didn't invent it, somebody told me it.
That's right. You're
I'm
just sharing the
passing
wisdom.
from-
Passing it on.
Just sharing the wisdom.
Pass it
That's all right. That's exactly what we do.
Well, tell us, tell the viewers there, Pimo, where can they find you? Your Facebook handle and
Well, I've got a Facebook page. I think it's Dave P. Mo. And then our Blues Old Stand website, we have a Blues Old Stand Facebook page, a Blues Old Stand fan page. And you can see a lot of stuff that we've been doing lately on that and what I'll be doing. Personally, a lot of times I forget to tell my buddy Earl to put it on my Facebook page. So
Right.
I don't know if he does it or when he doesn't do it, but I don't really look at it that
Right.
much. So call me direct if you got to say something. But Yeah, you can look at on the Dave Emo Facebook page or the Blues Old Stand page.
Especially if they want to book you or anything like that too. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm here this week with, and half of next week, and then I'll be back in Bama.
You playing anywhere while you're here?
Yeah, Wednesday here at the Sundown with Monty and the Honky
Hippie Tonk.
Hippie Talk.
Yeah.
And this week is the Northeast Louisiana Music
That's right.
Awards.
That's right.
And I'll be playing with my great buddy, and I'm glad I'm having a chance to mention his name, Danny Lee Witherington. Who's
That's
been
right.
a big part of my blues association in this neck of the woods. And
he's a Hall of Famer.
We fish. We're friends. We eat together. And he's just we hunt together, and he's just been a blessing.
Yeah.
to
Oh
me.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like Monty and
Yes.
so many others. Dave Reeves, same thing. General Patterson,
Yeah.
and so I'll be playing with them on their they're all Hall of Famers. So they've written a couple songs
Right.
for the Northeast Louisiana Music
Oh wow!
Awards
Wow.
on Thursday night, and so I'll be performing. We're rehearsing, I think, tomorrow night for it, and then
Very cool.
I'll be
I'm-
playing with them Thursday.
I will meet you all over there.
All right. And then Monty Russell Band that I'm going to be playing with is playing at Enoch's after the
Rehearsal?
The Neela Awards
Oh, actually,
on Thursday.
Okay, on Thursday. Okay, I'll be there too.
Yeah, man.
And that's all this week. See, people say musicians don't work.
It's a lot of work.
Hey, I don't get paid to play. I get paid to drive around and load in.
That's
it.
it. That's
we,
it.
We play for free.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, look, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. I believe our next guest will be, I think, Miss Katie Knight.
I believe that to be true.
Well, you tell Katie that I said hello.
We will.
I will.
We will.
I will.
And I love y'all, and thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
we love you back.
Thank you, Dave.
Take us out, Bo.
Said Honky Talk Podcast.
It's Honkies with a King.